What's going on, everyone? It's time for a Patron request from Jeannette, who requested that I do the 2015 low-budget slasher called Secret Santa. There's a lot of movies with that title, but this is the one from 2015, not the one from Adam Marcus. So, this movie is about a group of young college kids getting together for a Secret Santa gift party where, they're going to do a Secret Santa, but then somebody replaces all their gifts with these weapons that are going to be used against them, and they all get picked off one by one. It's a whodunit, who's killing them and why. It's a throwback to 80s slashers. And so, getting into my positives, what I like about this movie is the fact that it's a throwback, and they even go as far as to make the movie look like it's from the 80s, where they do something with the filter and it looks really grainy, and there's like lines, like tracking lines and shit like that, and just like spots here and there. So if you don't like that kind of look, then you're not going to like the movie, but it has like a VHS kind of shot on video look to it. But it didn't weigh the movie down for me. I liked that gimmick. It's a very gimmicky movie. And I like the gimmick that the killer has, where each weapon that they open up is the weapon that is used on them. Somebody opens up a drill, somebody opens up garden shears, a blow dryer, you name it, like a meat cleaver, there's a chainsaw, like, there's so many different creative, gory kills in the movie, and I love the gore in the movie. It's lingering on screen for far too long, but I love it. It's very gruesome and graphic, does not shy away at all. And the women in this movie are extremely attractive, every single one of them. A couple of them get naked, and that's always a great thing to have in slashers. We got tons of beautiful ladies in here. And also, the final act I loved. There's a lot of fun in the final act. It surprised me, the twist of who the killer was. Did not expect that. And it has the best, like, motivation speech ever. It's hilarious. So, then, also what I really like about the movie is the acting was not that bad. Like, I was expecting dog shit. And at first, it seemed like the acting was going to be terrible when it opened up with these two girls walking down the street, but it got a little better as the movie went on. Like, the acting was not as bad as I was expecting. It was actually kind of decent. And also, the cam girl was my favorite character in the movie. Really, the only character I liked in the movie was the cam girl. She's like, the final girl, and she's not a typical final girl. She is a cam girl. Usually final girls are the virgins, but this woman has like thousands of sex toys in her room, and somehow none of her roommates that she lives with know that she's a cam girl, despite all the noises that she's making and just all the dildos that she just has laying around. It's not like she tries to hide them. Like, you just open the door, there's 12 large like black dildos on her bed, and all kinds of vegetables missing. Like, come on, they didn't know she was a cam girl. Like, get the fuck out of here. And the Christmas atmosphere that I look for in a Christmas horror movie, it's decent. There's not like a ton of like Christmas lights. It could have been better, but at least there's an attempt to make it feel like Christmas a bit. It's got a very low budget, so there's not a great production with the set designs and shit. It's just them in a small house. There's a Christmas tree. There's some Christmas lights, so there's some attempt to create that Christmas feel. So at least it has that going on. There's some Christmas movies where you don't even know what holiday it is when you're watching it. Someone has to like say it out loud that it's Christmas for you to even know. It's like, come on, put some damn lights up, put up a Christmas tree or something. I also love the 80s score in the movie. It's got that low budget synth slasher movie sound to it. It sounds like something that you would definitely hear in a movie from that time period. Getting into my dislikes, I just thought that the first like 30 some minutes was a bit boring, because I didn't like most of the characters in the movie outside of the camp girl. Like, there's a character who's supposed to be, I guess, the comic relief. He's like the coke head, and I thought all that attempt at comedy was poor with him. Like, he was not funny to me. There's definitely some humor in the movie that works towards the end, but the first act needed to be better. There needed to be better dialogue in the movie from these characters. I think the characters work better when they're together in the second half, but when they were like just one or two of them in a scene, in the first half, I just wasn't into them. Like, just the characters, I wasn't that into. They just seemed kind of generic and just was not into them. The cam girl I like, though. I was confused with the whole timeline. We get this opening kill, and then all of a sudden, it's like, I guess maybe I missed something, but it's like 10 weeks later. But then they're talking about how the girl just went missing like the day before. I was like, I thought it was 10 weeks later. And I didn't like the look of the killer. It's very prom night, and I don't like prom nights. I didn't like the look of the killer in prom night, so this is basically an homage to prom night. If you just, the killer has the same exact look head to toe as the killer in prom night, except he has black leather gloves in this one. Very giallo. And there's lots of moments with just no music. No score at all. There's no Christmas music that could have helped build the Christmas, vibes and atmosphere of the film. That they just kind of had Christmas music playing in the background. But again, maybe that's a budget thing. I'm not sure how expensive it is to have like jingle bells playing, but I just think Christmas music could have helped the movie, and just having more of that 80s synth score throughout. Because unless there's a kill sequence happening, there's no music like at all. So final thoughts. This is a movie strictly for fans of the 80s low-budget slasher movies with that feel and vibe, gory kills that linger on screen, and, just practical effects and mystery, whodunits. The twist really got me. And, it's not for everybody because it definitely has a very low-budget feel to it. So you gotta, know that going in. The acting's not phenomenal or anything, but I don't think it's that bad, and I can definitely see myself watching this every Christmas now, so it's definitely going to go in my rotation every December. So when it comes to Secret Santa, for fans of the genre, fans of low budget cinema, I recommend you definitely check it out. Go out and buy it. Alright, spoilers. So in the opening, this girl opens up a power drill, and of course, she gets drilled with the power drill through the pillow, and her eye gets plucked out. Very gory, like all these kills. And then, so we get this whole thing where I got confused with the timeline. So they're going to the school, and then it's like, week 1, and they're in history class. And then week 2, week 3, week 4, all the way to week 10. And then her body's under the bed, and I'm like, wouldn't her body be smelling real bad 10 weeks later? And they do mention that her body is smelling at some point in the movie, but it turns out this is only like a day or two after her body, or before she got killed. So would her body even be smelling a day later under the bed? And who took her body? I would have to go back and watch it again, but somehow the killer got the body from under the bed. The cokehead sees the body under the bed, tells the other girl to check, because he thinks he might just be having like a hallucination, maybe because he's on all kinds of shit. But she checks under the bed. A few seconds later, body's gone. Is there a trap door? Like, did I miss something? How did they sneak the body out of there? Sometimes I'm writing notes, and then just those 3 seconds is all it takes for me to miss something crucial. So maybe I missed something. But he said he saw the body. I believe him. And then she checks, the body's not there. How did the killer get the body around her while she was talking to him? I don't get that. But anyways, so so this cam girl, she has been stuffing like all the vegetables in the house, like inside her body. And then this one girl takes those vegetables, juices them, and then drinks it in front of her, and she says nothing. Horrible. Don't let her drink that. So then the pizza guy, he gets killed. Very slumber party massacre. The pizza guy, he's in the car, gets his throat slit, and just it lingers on the effect way too long. You can just see it like opening, like it's a very deep cut. And there's a guy like peeping in the window because this girl does not close her blinds. Like, she is embarrassed by this, but she's very loud. Like, she lives with other people that somehow they just think she's in there masturbating, I guess. But she's clearly talking to somebody. She's talking to people on the screen. Like, it's so unbelievable that they are so oblivious to what's going on in there. And she leaves all the toys everywhere, like I said. But she even leaves, like, she has 2 windows in her bedroom, and she leaves the blinds, like, open. Everyone can just be right outside. She's not on, like, the second floor or anything. It's the bottom level. Anyone can walk by and just look in. And this guy who's like peeping through the window, looking at her do her little cam girl session, he goes off to his apartment, and the killer chases him and kills him for some reason. It seems like an unnecessary kill, but they follow him to his house and they stab him in the head. And so after that, we see what else happens. Oh, interesting question I had. All right, so tell me, do you think that this would be cheating? Is it? I don't know. That was just an interesting question I had. Like, is that the same thing as cheating? Like, this guy is cheating on his girlfriend, who's a cam girl. He doesn't know that, but isn't she technically cheating too, in a way? I don't know. Like, you're showing your body to thousands of people, just masturbating and doing whatever they tell you to do for money. Like, you're basically selling your body. Like, isn't that cheating? Like, she's no better than him for cheating on her. I mean, at least he feels bad for it. You know, he's like, no, that was a mistake, Nicole. Or I love Nicole. So Clarissa, or whatever her name was, you know, at least he feels remorseful for it. Like, oh, that was a mistake. I was drunk. But she is sober, doing all this cam girl shit. Yeah, I get it. She needs money. She's making $500 a week, she says. That's a shit ton. But come on. Like, you're no better. I think what you're doing is kind of cheating as well. But he accepts it. He's just like, you know, as long as you give me like a little rehearsal, like you show me, you know, your act before you go online, then I'm fine with it. I'm not sure if I would be fine with that. If I found out my girlfriend was doing this cam girl shit, I don't think I would be as cool about it. I would just be like, it's over. Sorry. So then the electric carving knife kill, that came out of nowhere. There was like no build up to it. Like, as soon as she gets into the bathroom, it's just like, boom, all right, she's dead. I was like, holy shit. And so the food pan, so she cooks this food. They all think it's terrible. But she has, like, you know, the oven mitts, and it's very hot. The one guy touches a piece of it, and it's like, holy shit, oh, that was hot. And he drops it. She puts it on the table, and then not even a minute later, they're all grabbing it, eating it. And then not even a minute later, also, like, the guy grabs the pan without oven mitts to go throw it outside, to make her think that they ate every single, like, dinner roll or whatever it was. It's like, bullshit. That thing would be hot. Again, is that like a slight little homage to Slumber Party Massacre? Because remember, in that movie, the main girl has like a tea kettle or whatever, like a teapot or a coffee pot or whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's supposed to be like scalding hot, and then she just picks it up. It's like, that would be burning your hand. So I just thought that was an interesting little way to pay homage to Slumber Party Massacre, if that's what they were doing. So the one line that cracked me up was, you got these Christmas carolers at the door, and then at the end they like have like a donation jar, and the woman just goes, I'm a student, and slams the door in their face. And then come to find out, those Christmas carolers are the killers. There's 3 killers in the movie. That surprised me. I kept going back and forth between the 3 guys. I was like, at first I thought it was the boyfriend, because he was the first guy we were introduced to. So I'm like, oh, it's the cam girl's boyfriend. But then the professor who's banging one of the students, I was like, oh, it's the professor. You know, maybe he's trying to kill all the people he slept with. He doesn't want it to get out, or I don't know, like some dumb reason like that. But then, you know, then he just admits that he's fucking this girl to everybody. Like, you're no longer my students, so it's okay to admit that I've been fucking my students this whole time. You guys won't tell anybody, right? So I was like, I guess maybe it's not him. But they kept, like, making me go back and forth. And then I was like, well, maybe it's the cokehead dude, and he's just doing some hardcore drugs and blacking out and killing people. But no, he wasn't the killer either, so it really surprised me. I mean, who would have guessed it would just be these 3 random Christmas carolers? But I like that. That was a nice swerve. It really pulled the rug out from under me. I was like, holy shit, 3 killers? And they're the carolers. But yeah, at first I was like, when I was thinking it was the boyfriend, and he has that bloody butcher knife in his passenger car seat, I was like, what the fuck? Like, why would you leave that in your car, you idiot? When I was thinking that he was the killer. And then the blow dryer kill. So, you know, you think you know what's about to happen. You're like, I see where this is going. You know, he's going to throw it in there. It's going to electrocute her. But then it's like too far. So again, Slumber Party Massacre. Remember that scene with the buzz, saw? It unplugs. Another homage to Slumber Party Massacre. Jesus, I'm putting this together as I talk. So He throws the blow dryer, unplugs. He's like, oh shit, oh, well, I guess I'll just pick it up and beat you to death with it. So that was pretty funny. I just thought that was a really funny kill. And then her head's just gushing and gushing with blood, just constantly pumping out of her forehead. That's like got this big gaping wound. Oh, just very bloody. And, you know, Brian, he gets meat cleaver. His head gets chopped off. The professor, he gets like an ice pick or something through his ear. Very like Alice in Friday the 13th Part 2. So then when we get the reveal that there's 3 killers, she goes, you know, why? And I thought, oh God, here we go. Like I was dreading it. I was like, oh God. And he's like, do you want to hear it? And I even said out loud on my couch, no, I don't. It's like, I just want you to be crazy. No motivation is needed. So then he goes into his motivation, but we don't really get to hear it all. It just kind of does like this time-lapse thing where it just, you know, all these crossfades, like it's implying that his story is like so long. You know, at first he's like, you know, it was the year 1987, I just wanted a dolly, and then like we get his story kind of, but we don't even get the other two's story, because the other girl who got stabbed by the cam girl, she bleeds out during his story. His motivation speech, she says, is 2 hours long. She's like, Jesus Christ, you went on for 2 hours. I would have just, I forget what she says. She was implying that she would just rather kill herself than listen to that speech, but she's tied up and can't do anything about it. But he went on for so long that one of his, you know, accomplices, one of the 3 killers, bled to death while he was too busy talking. I thought that was hysterical. That was just hilarious. I love that this is just a spoof of those, you know, motivation speeches and slashers where they're just like a Scream movie where they just go on, like, this is why I did it, revenge, and I felt hurt when this happened. Like, oh, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't need your story. Why can't they just have no motivation? Or, you know, a simpler motivation than, you know, why give this big speech? And I just love that they're making fun of that shit that we always get in, like, those Scream movies and other slashers. So I just love how it's a parody of that. And so then she stabs the one chick and she dies like right away from being stabbed in the gut, but then she gets stabbed in the gut and stabs the final killer in his gut, and they both survive their wounds. You hear the cops coming in the distance. Who the fuck called them? I don't remember anybody calling them. So who called them? And then so it's 1 year later. The killer thinks he's gonna, you know, get the girl on the 1 year anniversary. But, you know, there was a blow-up doll in the chair instead. I'm not sure how she pulled that trick, because he has his eye on her the whole time, and then he opens the door. Like, we see her sit down, put the wig on herself, and then he's looking at her the whole time through the closet door, goes out there, stabs the head, but now it's a blow-up doll. I'm not sure how she pulled that off, but then she takes the chainsaw that she opened up earlier, I guess, and then, like, chainsaws his foot off and then chainsaws his head off and just lingers on that shot for way too long, just blood gushing out, and then credits. But yeah, I think I said everything. Yeah, nothing else really to talk about. I just love how gory and silly this movie is, especially by the third act. It was a blast, so thank you so much for recommending it, Jeannette. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Secret Santa. Let me know what you thought about this low-budget slasher in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And remember, it's all an opinion. You don't need to get butthurt about it.